Schools across the nation are always looking for ways to get kids more involved and inspired by tech, and they're doing more than just having more math classes now. They're trying to get in new, exciting programs to teach kids about technology, starting in elementary school. How about that?
But schools, they can't do it all. A lot of it is also up to the parents. And how can parents support their kids as they enter these programs and keep the learning going at home? Cindy Tetro and Sarah Jones from the Women Tech Council are here today with some really cool tech toys. And I'm just going to be flat out and tell you, my son is nearly addicted to video games. And I told him finally, I said, you cannot play until you code them yourself, because I'm tired of it. So as we get our kids involved in coding, what's the first step?
That's a great question. So as we often talk here, Women Tech Council, we really care about how we pathway kids into technology. What's happening is that there's an explosion across all disciplines. We were actually at the White House last week. There's a very big initiative across the entire country for how we integrate technology into everything, from dance to sports to food sciences. So what we want kids and parents to start thinking about is how technology and how you can do things where he loves gaming, right? How we take that specific instance and teach him the technology underneath it. So we're going to show you a couple of things. We wanted to talk about what schools are doing, what parents can do, and then ultimately how this integrates into the lifestyles of our children.
And I don't want to be gender biased here because I talk about my son, but it's also, I mean, you want your girls also to get involved in this, because
Absolutely.
I know there is a great need for women in tech.
That's right. It's all part of that same initiative, which is really changing the mindset of all of our youth. We brought a couple of things here today as we think about. Yeah, so as we think about what's happening in schools, right, one of those things are we're seeing curriculum that's getting created that empowers these kids to actually make the code. So I brought one thing here that it was a partnership with code.org. So they used Minecraft. All of our kids use Minecraft on their devices.
Yes.
This is part of what they do. What's really cool about this is it shows you how to program. So if you look here on our screen, you can see here that in this instance, the story is we want him to shear the sheep. So what we are doing is we write the code to get him to shear the sheep. And it's literally as simple as drag and drop. When we want him to move forward, we type on that. We come over here and we click and say, let's move him forward. Or if we don't want to, we take it away. And then we tell him to shear the sheep. And then we come over here and we run that code. And you see exactly what happens. So now all of a sudden, I have the power of programming. I'm telling the actual instance what to do. And then even in more complex situations where now we're going to build the foundation for our house, typically our kids are just pointing and building, but now what you see here is the actual code that it takes to make that happen.
And we're talking about, for parents who have no idea, we're talking about the right half and the left half of the screen.
Thank you.
The right half is basically executed on the left half of the screen in what we would consider to be a normal video game kind of format.
Exactly, and what you see is, as parents, we don't have to be experts in computer science. What we have to do is create exposure. And this is happening in our schools. These are the types of tools that are now going into our elementary schools, and they can take advantage of them. So those kids are programming. This is what programming is. It's a mentality of thinking through decision making.
You can play Minecraft if you do that. Okay, I love the bots. Let's talk about the little bots there.
Well, let's move to what parents can do. And like we said, parents do not have to be the experts in computer science or technology, but the role parents can play is to really engage their kids in learning and to think about, like, you know, how do things happen? So these are Ozabots. They're just one of the things that we actually provide in our tech zone when the high school girls come, but other kids can use them too. And the Ozabots are just following the line that kids draw. And what's really great is parents, as they give these kids these easy tools, they can just ask the questions. What's going on? What, you know, could you make it do this? What if you did this? And you can challenge your kids and get them thinking creatively and, you know, how do I solve these interesting problems that my parents might do? So I can tell you're really interested. Would you guys like to try?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
So take a piece of paper, and you have some markers. Yeah. And basically you think about this as you're telling the robots what steps to take. And so build it like a track, just like you were driving a car. It's a big racetrack with smooth curves and lines.
Oh, smooth curves. Oopsie.
That's right.
I need to start over. I wasn't listening to directions.
Because
when do we change colors?
You can change
Whenever
color
you want.
anytime, and the robot will respond to the color change, which is what's so cool about it.
And we've learned through our own problem solving to make just thicker lines, just so that the robot doesn't get confused, and we'll just move these little guys over.
Here, if you want to try them on your track.
You can each try your own track. There you go.
All right.
There you go. And just set it on there?
And there it goes.
Yep. Set him on the track.
Mine's confused.
Set him down on the track. There
Is he
you go.
confused? Okay, and your line might be just a little bit thin for it. Yours is moving a little bit slower, Andrew. But what's great about these is there's a really simple entry point for the kids, but as they get more complex, they can control the speeds, they can control the direction, and these are things that kids can actually learn on their own. They just need parents to guide them a little bit.
So much fun. I mean, you know, it's fun and it's learning, and that's exactly what you want kids to do in this particular tech world as they grow up and hopefully go into tech.
That's exactly right.
We're running out of time. I do want to find out, though, before we let you go, where can we go to find out more information where our kids can get involved in something like this?
So there's lots of great resources in your school. At the Women Tech Council, we try to connect you with all of those types of things. It's womentechcouncil.org. And what we really want, right, is kids to be inspired in a new way of thinking. We want them to solve those problems, and parents can do a really great job of embracing those technologies. Go buy the new Barbie scientist who lets you do 8 experiments. Buy programmable robots that are installed in this. And what we're going to teach is a whole generation of kids who can solve these problems and who can become part of the booming economy we have here in the state.
Perfect. Silicon slopes, and we're ready for it in the next 10, 15 years when our kids enter into high school and college. Ladies, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.